All right. We have some fantastic insights to share with you this morning. I could not be more excited. Russ, how are you feeling?
I'm pumped. Yeah, and it's been a long time coming. In preparing for today, we got the chance to speak with many of you. And in the conversations that we had, there was this one common feeling that you all shared. You described being on the precipice of something big, something not yet seen, but coming just around the corner. It's kind of like that click, click, click you feel going up a roller coaster. Our hearts beat slightly faster, our energy is rising, and our senses are on alert. We're not just in another moment of change or a period of disruption. No. There's actually a word to describe what we're feeling and where we are today. A reset. A time to renew our strategies to reflect emerging conditions and breakthrough capabilities. And it's clear that a reset is underway. 8 in 10 CEOs tell us that they'll have new business strategies ready to roll out by the end of this year. Now, the way that this reset looks, it's not going to be the same for all of you. For some, it's about unlocking exponential growth or innovating for new products and services. Now, for others, it could manifest in terms of building organizational resilience or driving efficiency across the enterprise.
For instance, Chick-fil-A is going to be serving up streaming content along with chicken sandwiches. Southwest Airlines is letting go of the thing it's probably best known for, open seating. And soon, dating apps like Grindr won't just find you a match. They'll be giving you an AI wingman to help you out on that first date. And look, for many of you, this roller coaster ride might feel familiar. You've probably been through one or two of these strategic resets before. But we can't rely on the wisdom of past experience. Today's reset is unique. Our post-pandemic operating environment has accelerated trends that used to click along at least a somewhat predictable pace. I know this gets said all the time, but it is true. Business just moves faster today. 10 years ago, top quartile S&P companies could expect to hold that leading position for an average of about 6 years. Today, 2 years. How long before it's 1 year? 6 months.
Wow. And on top of that, many industries saw a shift in terms of customer expectations that changed the products and services that were designed, from EVs in the auto industry to new pharmaceuticals disrupting healthcare. And our research continues to show that the employee-employer relationship has fundamentally shifted. All around us, employees are continuing to push employers for what it means to have a more human deal. So, our reset is driven by these post-pandemic conditions, and of course by AI too.
CEOs have told us that technology and digitalization are at the center of their drive to reset their strategies. The hope is that a dramatic infusion of AI will unlock growth as other levers like supply chain efficiency or entering new markets become less reliable. Now, HR has a leading role to play here. But with so many different perspectives on what matters, how to get this reset right isn't exactly clear. Let's take a look.
hectic, dizzying.
Wow, right?
So, as you can see, there's no shortage of advice on where the problem lies or even what to do about it. And to your credit, you've been placing bets and making moves. But the results haven't always met your expectations. And you tell us that your organizations simply aren't ready for this reset. Only a third of you say that your organization is ready for how work will change in just the next 2 years. So, this means for most of you, you're building a plan for the future, knowing that unless something changes, your organization can't deliver. As we explored why so many of you just don't feel ready, a few common themes emerged. 3 gaps that stand between our organizations and a successful reset. The first gap that we found touches on culture, the employee experience, and how our employees interact with one another. A collaboration gap. So across the past several years, you as HR leaders have been hugely focused on connections, building A teams, B teams, Tiger teams, fusion teams, squads, communities of practice. You'd think that given all of these options, we'd have super rich collaboration. We found it's just the opposite. So check this out. We surveyed employees on how satisfied they were with the level of collaboration at work. As you can see, we're on a decline from an already low starting point, and today, this number has dropped to 29%. If we stay on this same course, we estimate it's only going to get worse. Imagine a world where only 1 in 5 colleagues feels like they can connect with smart coworkers to get their jobs done. Not great, especially when you look at that relationship between collaboration and performance. This is the performance distribution of those who are highly satisfied with the level of collaboration at work. Now, compare this to the performance of those who are less satisfied. You know it ain't good when the performance curve shifts to the left. That pool of high performers you are counting on is now a puddle. Your bench of successors is now a footstool with one rickety leg. Look, I know there are many different things that can impact performance, but this one is a product of today's environment, and it needs your attention. If collaboration dips, you can expect performance to dip with it.
It's not good, Russ. It's not what we want. And another gap that is certainly not going to do anything to help with that performance problem is a skills gap. And it's accelerating despite lots of creative solutions from HR. Up until 2020, the percentage of employees reporting a significant change in the skills required to do their job held steady at around 9% each year. In 2021, that number shot up to almost 20% as organizations scrambled to adapt jobs to the pandemic. Now, things settled a bit over the next 2 years, but never returned to those pre-pandemic levels. Then along comes 2024, where Gen AI and post-pandemic challenges pushed skill changes even beyond the level we experienced at the height of the pandemic. If we forecast this out, in 3 years, we are talking about a third of your employees who at any given time don't know how to do their jobs. And that's a conservative estimate. With another disruption like Gen AI or the pandemic, that number will be even higher. At the same time, only about half of hiring managers agree that their recent hires have the skills they need now and in the future. And our projections put that number well below half in just a few years. So, What we are seeing here is that as skill changes are going up, skills preparedness is going down.
And if that weren't enough, we also have a technology gap. It's no surprise we use technology more today to do our jobs. And just to give you an idea, the average number of applications that a desk worker uses has doubled in just about 5 years. So here too, our investments are going up, but the payoff doesn't exactly line up. We recently surveyed users of all types of AI to understand the value that these tools offer. And look, there is some good news here. They found that these tools save them roughly 5 hours a week. And some of that time is used for things like personal needs, development, and value-add tasks. Great, we absolutely want those things. But this last slug of time, 41%, this represents time wasted through the tools, either because of errors that the tech is generating, or we're just filling the time with busy work. And to be clear, we're not only losing value here, but we're also damaging the employee experience. I think we all get how frustrating it is when technology feels like it's causing us more harm than good. So this is a real loss for us, especially given all of the money and expectations that our leaders are putting on AI. Looking at all three of these gaps in the light of day, holding up our growing needs and expectations against results that just don't match up, it feels simultaneously overwhelming and underwhelming. We've got way more connections, but less collaboration. We're investing in development, but skills gaps just keep growing. And we've got so much more technology, but it's not having the impact we expect. As you reflect on these three gaps, turn to the peer next to you and in one word, share with them the gap that you're feeling the most. Huh?
All right, we said one word. Okay, all right. I heard a lot of skills over here, Russ. How about you?
Collaboration over here.
Collaboration?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So clearly, we're all feeling some gaps. We're going to have a little something for everyone here today. But to close them, you can't keep doing more of the same.
No, our data made that clear.
Absolutely. And no, you can't just spray a little AI on it and call it a day. Sorry. But there is a path forward. This morning, Russ and I are going to share 3 solutions, 3 things that you can do differently going forward to close these gaps and make your organizations reset ready.
When it comes to collaboration, it's not about adding more connections. You've got to play a more active role in how our employees interact through guided collaboration. For skills, you need to look beyond traditional development levers and build new pathways for learning through collective intelligence. And for technology, it's not only about finding and implementing the latest tech. To get value from these investments, you need a human-first AI approach.
Guided collaboration, collective intelligence, human-first AI. Let's start with collaboration.
Sounds good.
As Russ just showed us, you've been driving more connections, but the health of those connections is worrying. And as the quality of collaboration declines, it takes performance down with it.
So what's going on? Well, the root cause of our collaboration gap, it can be found in the very same conditions of this reset. Technology has upended our need to connect with one another. I often get Jessie to review my research, but soon I could just ask AI. I bet this is going to change our relationship. Now, when given these options, where do you see your employees leaning into more? At the same time, post-pandemic shifts have made our norms of interacting a little bit more murky. Now, many of our employees have simply gotten used to working alone, whether that's due to location or specialized job design. And we also have more generations in the workforce, which means more norms and more behaviors all at the same time. And this has introduced some pretty interesting workplace dynamics. And that's putting it lightly. Here's what hiring managers are seeing in interviews right now. According to a recent survey, college graduates struggled with eye contact, dressed inappropriately, and even used some eyebrow-raising language. But the kicker? Nearly 20% showed up to the interview with their mom or dad in tow.
Time to rewrite those interview guides.
Absolutely. But that's not the only force at play here. National elections across the world, including the one that we have here next week, have introduced sharper divisions plaguing our workplace interactions. And partly as a result of these divisions, we find that 30% of employees actively avoid more people at work than they did 2 years ago. It's pretty hard to collaborate if at any given time a third of your employees are ignoring Teams calls or crouched under their desks.
But listen, these tensions and disconnects, they're not going to fix themselves. And you can't put it all on managers. You as HR need to take an active role through what we call guided collaboration. Right now, 2/3 of organizations provide no formal guidance on how to collaborate effectively. But the thing is, teamwork, it's a talent process like any other, like our culture strategies or our performance management processes. And HR needs to start treating it that way. Your efforts here will pay off. We've done the math. And when organizations provide this guidance, they outperform those who don't on retention, innovation, and profitability.
So we got the business case, but how do we do it? Guided collaboration consists of helping employees understand their collaboration needs and reinforce effective collaboration norms. Now, the upside here is that there's already examples of a few companies who are leading the way. Dropbox realized that not everybody wants to collaborate in the same way. So they go directly to employees with a collaboration self-assessment. This lets employees determine where, with whom, and how much connection will help them be successful. But helping employees identify collaboration needs isn't enough. Sonai helps new graduates understand what good collaboration looks like. They don't just give them a mentor. They have these new hires lead the matching process. They formally interview their short list of mentors to find a match. No word on if the mentors are able to bring their own parents to the interview or not. And look, the goal here is not just to help the trainees learn the business, but to learn different norms and working styles, all in a business context.
And those examples are just some of what's happening right now. Consider a world where guided collaboration gets a leg up from AI. Many of us already benefit from AI nudges to do things like respond to a forgotten email. But these sorts of nudges could also be designed to help improve our connections and interactions with our colleagues. It's called nudge tech. And you're going to hear a lot more about it going forward. Gartner's latest HR technology hype cycle puts it right at the start of the maturity curve, beginning to generate interest and excitement. So what could it do? This nudge tech might comb a colleague's work history to suggest non-obvious ways for them to contribute. It could propose next steps for a team to take in their work based on other teams' experiences with similar projects. Or it could call out colleagues for interrupting each other in meetings. Yeah, if you're like me, you can think of a couple of people who need that tool as soon as possible.
Why are you making eye contact with me right now?
Not you, Russ. I did not mean you.
All right, good. So, when it comes to the collaboration gap, the call to HR is to elevate the importance of teamwork as an asset that we actively manage. Our strategy is guided collaboration, where employees recognize their teamwork needs and apply effective norms that reflect today's post-pandemic environment.